greedy. Let's start a timer here. So last we left off, we were going to be finishing off Mr. Razormouth here. And so we have a grab the information on this items here. This is the Green Stuff World acrylic round 25 millimeter base. So see that it's a little weird on here because I've changed the angle of the close-up camera here, so it's off to the side here just for now until I figure out how I'm gonna configure this a little bit better. But anyways, so with that, we are also going to use this stuff here, Green Stuff World UV resin. Get that there for you. So this stuff will work with this UV light that I have here. So I have one of these little nail lights. This is actually one that I used. It was for my phone to put the UV resin on the on the cover on my phone. So it's a clear glass that you put over top. So you turn this on and it gives you the UV light. So there you go. And it only takes a little, just a few, just a few seconds to sum up. It doesn't, to get it to cure. It doesn't take very long. So I'm just gonna see where that's gonna position on that base, and give it a bit of a mix there. Shake up. Put this stuff on. It's kind of runny, but not too crazy runny. It is like kind of like syrup. Put that on each of his 3 points here on his legs. It doesn't matter if you have a little too much. I mean, this stuff is it'll flatten out quite easy. So get him positioned well enough. I decided to go with UV resin because it's a lot easier to use than something like Gorilla Glue. If you go ahead and use Gorilla Glue or any kind of glue that's like crazy glue and stuff, the problem is you're going to end up with it fogging up in any spot that's exposed on your base. So let me get this light going. Once the light goes on it, it should cure up real fast. I give it a few seconds here, and it should get good and tacky, and then flip her over like this so that it exposes it through the base. And that should be good and plenty to. I just keep it on there just to make sure. The light goes off. So now this base is on there good and solid. It's not going to come off unless you like really try to yard it off. So he's all attached. And like I say, whenever you go along a surface, you don't even see that base anymore. It's just the critter itself, and whatever is under it, you're just going to see the terrain that's underneath it. So it's all good, no matter what. So there we go. So this guy is pretty much ready to go on my shelf of collectibles there, and I'll end up using him in some sort of traveler game, you know, some sort of xenomorph of some form. So he's ready to go. In the meantime, we got Mr. Dragon here. So let's see. I do have a bit of alcohol here. Not the stuff to drink though. But can use this alcohol to help draw out certain things on your ink that you have already on your critter here. I just gotta find grab a little container here, throw some in. Looks like this stuff has solided up good. Now you can see as you're brushing, you're getting a little bit of that blue coming through. So I want to be able to control that. I do want to give a kind of nice icy feel to this critter. So I'm just giving it a little bit of agitation here as we're going. I don't know if you can see it that well, but as I'm doing this, it's becoming bluer and bluer as we go. Where there's a higher concentration, you can see underneath his arm here, it's starting to blue out a little bit more. So do that. Okay, there. So you can kind of see that a little better. So it's kind of like working with whatchamacallit, oil paint, but not. It does smell strong though, so, but it's just alcohol, so it's no biggie. You'll just get drunk. No. That's why we have this on you know, this is not a kid's show. There you go. try and draw out that blue a bit. Just to give it that ice cold feel to it. And once we got the blue drawn out onto this white, then we're going to highlight it with some white once again. It's really bringing that out. Get a little bit more in here. Yeah. Looky that. Now we don't want this to be a blue dragon. We want it to be a white dragon. So this is just getting us all nice and set up for that. And we can use the dry brush and start bringing out the scales. It'll look really cool after we do that. So for those who didn't watch any of the stuff I've done before, this is done in an ink called Dr. P.H. Martin's Bombay. Comes in, let's see, do I have any here at my beck and call? I got some white over here. Hold on here. It drops the ink. So this is the white. This is the other color, the blue. So I first went ahead and used this blue, covered the entire dragon in it. Well, actually, the first was a black, surface primer on it, this stuff here. Then I used the blue, so I gave it a shot of that all around it. You couldn't really see much of a difference because, you know, the black with the blue over top of it didn't really show up that much. It's a really dark blue. And then a shot of this stuff over top, really well mixed. And it's that's what you're seeing here. So now with the alcohol, the trick here is to draw out some blue to create that light blue hue. Like you can see it really strong on here. It's not so strong in real life. Like when you're looking at it as an actual in real life figure, it looks pretty much white and black, and the blue is really enhanced on this video. So I'm seeing a slight difference. However, now it's starting to look more like what you're seeing on the screen by me doing this. So we're getting that nice blue coming through, which looks cool. It's going to take me a while to get through all of this to bring out all the scales and everything to get that blue coming through, but it won't take too long to get her done. And then, like I say, we're going to enhance it with some white. You know, I don't know where I just ended up finding out about this using the alcohol on your ink. Like it does, it's just enough to, you know, reactivate it just slightly, but it's not enough to go ahead and actually strip it off of your model. But it does lead to a pretty cool effect. The more you agitate it, the more you're gonna bring out that blue onto this guy. Yeah, I ended up finding out about this by accident. I ended up using some milliput on a miniature, and when you use milliput, you can thin it down with alcohol. And what happened was, inadvertently doing that, I discovered that, oh, it reactivates the ink on your miniature. And I kind of clued into what was going on and decided to use it. Kind of like you said, like using oil paint and thinners, but instead of pulling it right off of your miniature, you're just basically, you know, reactivating it and creating this cool bluing effect on which was once a fully white dragon. Or at least what was perceived to be white dragon. But it does lead to it looking quite cold looking, so it's giving me the shivers looking at it. I have some food that is you know, cooking in the oven right now, so I do have a timer. It's telling me it should be ready in about 12 minutes. That time I will take a break from this. I'll conclude with another live stream shortly, and we'll keep on working on this guy. And for those watching the recording, just go ahead and change it over to you know, 1.5 speed or something like that. And you don't have to listen to me yak away. Once you got the gist of it, you kind of know what I'm doing. Try it out yourself. Get some ink and try this method out yourself and see how it goes. There's a lot of things you can do with miniatures and all the tools and you know, different kinds of paints and inks we use. You can do all kinds of cool stuff. Now let's get his tail going. Or is it a her? I don't know. It's, I guess. Their arm going here. So we haven't really touched it. So how's the lighting going? Like, let me know. I'm not watching the chat, so I don't know if anybody's in or not. But if you're watching the recording, please let me know if this is fine. The way that you're watching. Wow, we're getting a real good dark blue underneath its neck here, so this is helping with a lot of the shading and stuff on here, giving a good effect. Just gotta go over in between the spikes of its head here. Bring out that blue. You see it drastically change before your eyes, going from white to a blue hue. And in some spots it might, end up looking a little too blue. That's okay. We're gonna use white again and go over the whole thing again and make sure we bring up all those scales and anything that you want to have brightened up with white, and have them brighten back up again. Leg, everything, yeah, it's looking all right. It's amazing how this blue is starting to come out of all the crevices here. It's awesome. Got another 5 minutes here. dinner's ready. Looks like I could use a little bit more alcohol in the container. I do use this alcohol for cleaning my 3D prints as well. I'll be probably doing a few dragons, which will be 3D printed as well. This one here is just a it's a WizKids, so these you can readily get. I think they're about 40 bucks Canadian, so probably be about 20-30 bucks in US in comparison. It's really coming out quite blue down there on the bottom, but that's okay. I like that. We will enhance it further as we go. See a big difference between both wings. There you go. It's a huge difference. That blue is really coming out into all the recesses here. It's sinking into all the low spots. Yeah, yeah. Everywhere that the claws and everything, if you didn't see last time, it's all that black and stuff is all done with acrylic, so it's not being affected like the ink is. So goes my alarm saying my dinner is ready. All right. Now I'm going to let this guy dry up a bit. And then I will come back and we will start doing some dry brushing to them too as well. There we go. Get the bottom here. Oh yeah, one other thing I want to show you here, since you know, we got the base going on here. So let me take this, put this dragon on the base. Another thing that I'm gonna put on the base is this thing here. This. You're like, what the heck is that? I'll show you. So this was part of another WizKid set. I believe this is a top of a table and or some sort of pedestal or something. It's got a neat marking on there and everything, so I have decided, where is our middle of our thing? I've decided that I'm going to recreate this because I don't want to wreck this one. So what I've done is I have taken some Orimaru, and this stuff here is, you put it in hot water. It becomes really mushy and soft, and you put it over top of the thing that you want to mold and squish it on. It'll get into all the crevices and everything. And then I've taken some milliput, and this is the milliput is hardened now. So this has been a day, probably a day and a half now that I put this stuff in. So I'm gonna crack this off. So this stuff is very rubbery, but hard rubber. So, and this should have a pretty near perfect mold of what that thing is there. And you can reuse it over and over again. So see, this is basically created almost perfect replica of what I wanted. I was okay with it having like chips and everything because I'm going to like use it as a, it's just going to be a piece of ruin. So probably stick that in behind here with to kind of show you on the tail piece here down below. So we're gonna sink that in, put some snow on top of it. Probably going to be using more of the milliput to create kind of like a bit of snow over top, like it's been blown over onto it or something, and crack away some of this to give it that like it's just a piece of ruin or something, and maybe put a glow effect on that on this kind of weird sigil in the middle. So that's kind of the way that I want it, and it also hides that that little clear spoke coming out and holding the dragon up. So it'd be a good piece of clutter to put on there on the base once I got it kind of melded all together. And that's my idea. I didn't want to do the whole thing, so you know, I wanted to have it sticking out of the snow kind of idea. So that's the idea of what I wanted to do. The rest of this I can probably bust off with one of my trimmers. You know, just take it and peel it off. There's some little rock debris that comes off here that I can collect up and just use it as stuff that I could use on my base like later on. Because you can always reuse that stuff as some sort of basing material. And we'll get this all nice and shaped and everything. And, get rid of all the rest of the stuff on the back. Do some sanding and make it a little flatter. You're not going to see the back so much, and I'll crack it up quite a bit so it looks like busted up stone and everything. And we'll paint her up and get her looking right cool looking. Alrighty. Alright, I'm gonna go have some supper. So I'll leave you now and see you in a bit.